And we live. Well, I was going to do it, but he said you. So
I was waiting on you.
Well, okay. So welcome back, folks, behind the ToolBelt. I'm your host, Mike Stearns. I'm filling in for Ty. Hey, Ty.
Hi, how are you? And I'm Ty Backer.
Dude, thanks for having me.
No, you're welcome. And we are super excited to be in Denton, Texas.
Yep.
At the SRC Summit 2023 April Hall special event that she hosts every single year for what, like 13 years now?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute, man. She does a great job. And I'm super excited to have ran into you, men and women, today. And what are we going to do? What are we talking about? What's going on?
First of all, let's talk about the legend to my left.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
yes.
No, other left.
Okay. Yes. Yes, the legendary.
You
What up, Heather?
What's up, my friends?
So,
how are you?
It's good to see y'all in the flesh.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is good.
Yeah.
It really is good.
Yeah, it is. We see each other on Facebook, but
All the
it's
time.
nice to see my homies and
That's right.
Mm.
That's right.
good.
That's right. You
Preach.
know, we're only as good as those that we surround ourselves with. Really, if you really think about it.
100%.
Yeah. So I heard that you're like making big moves in the Texas market, man. Why don't you fill us in on that?
Yeah. It's kind of just happened organically. So, my Houston area has been where we focused, and the business I was in before, there were a lot of just high performance people.
Mhm.
And, I think roofing is a business that smart people see as, a way to really raise capital and do things. And so I've grabbed some interest from some people in Austin and San Antonio. And so we are launching new territories.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Under the same name,
Yes,
same
just-
branding,
just the
same everything.
Okay.
Okay,
Just me going
okay.
out there, grassroots, training them and hitting their networking.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So like 3 or 4 different locations, or
San Antonio, surrounding areas, Austin, and then we're in the greater Houston metropolitan area.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you've been able to surround yourself around good people.
I am very blessed to be connected by incredible people, which
Right on.
is largely why I am where I am today. 100%.
Yeah. And you do that all organically, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, like referrals and just organic lead generation type of stuff.
Yes. My business is 100% referral based, word of mouth.
Yeah.
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 It's been
And I
awesome.
mentioned that because that's huge. That's huge to be able to do something like that. And Mike Stearns here sitting, to my left here is a marketing agent. And I want to hear like your take on that, Mike. Like, how do you think that's sustainable?
Oh, fuck yeah. But here's the thing. Which camera? This camera. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Baby.
So, yeah, for sure. And I think that, to your credit, Heather, great job. And I think it's like, let's everyone else take a look at what she's doing here, because it's the most often overlooked and underutilized way to grow. You can pay me thousands and thousands of dollars to run Google ads, and I'll happily run Google ads for you, and it'll be great. But there's going to be a cost associated with that.
Yeah.
So when you do these things at the grassroots, where there's less hard money invested, right? There's time, there's sweat equity, which is valuable for sure. But in the very beginning, in the first few years, when you have these other activities that are not costing you hard money, it makes your company more profitable.
Yes.
Profitability, super important to me. And I'd imagine most folks walking around this room and sitting at this table, it's important to them too. Yeah?
Yeah.
I love
For
profit.
sure.
Yes.
For
I'm about
sure.
to make the shirt. I love profit.
Yes. That is a fair and accurate statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you think some form of marketing is in your near future?
Yes, absolutely. You have to understand, when I started my company, I had no vision for what was going to happen. I was desperate to provide for my kids. So I was just going to sell some roofs. I didn't know. So it was kind of accidental how it happened. And then I saw what got traction. And so I've been intentional. But no, now I'm like, okay, let's, I didn't have a website for 2.5 years. That's not normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, we're putting those things in place. I'm really starting to look into some direct mail stuff around intentional building, things like that. But I'm learning, I'm actually learning about what these guys do, because this is a new type of business for me to actually use those types of services.
Of course.
These guys are educating me. I've really enjoyed getting to know the different agencies in the industry, because I'm learning from them all.
Yeah. No, and I can relate to that old school, that just that hustle that you've put in, like you said, not that you were desperate in the beginning, and maybe you were, like most of us were, right?
No, I was.
So we did whatever it took to generate leads, get our name out there, and now you've built that firm foundation. And how cool will it be for leads to come in from other avenues other than yourself?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that with you out there doing Facebook content and things like that, knocking doors or whatever it was that you were doing organically to create traffic, and leads and things like that. But how cool is it when you can actually sit back and have somebody else work on some stuff for you, and the phone's just going to naturally ring, not naturally, but
as a result of,
as a result of, right? Yeah, it's kind of exciting times for you right now. I can only imagine.
It's so exciting. It's so exciting. It really is.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Now, what recommendations would you give her right now since she's at that stage?
Yeah, I would have her call a send.
Well, of course.
I think that it's important, like when you're trying to figure out, okay, so like you're getting a website built, right? And then you're gonna launch the website, and it's okay, we have this asset, and how are we gonna leverage this asset to make our company better by way of traffic, lead flow, things like that. So figuring out what that looks like, what your expectations are, having somebody give you realistic expectations. If you're like, hey, well, we did X amount of million, we want to reach X amount of million. What's the best way to do that? Trying to figure out and parse out what you would do in the absence of doing any advertising, just organically with the growth that you have and the momentum that you have, and then saying, okay, so this is our gap, right? So what's the best thing that we can do to quantify how to close that gap, right? And we know on average, Google ads are going to cost this much per lead in your market,
right?
Or in a comparable market, right? So now you can understand per $1,000 you spend on Google ads, I can expect X amount of leads. Well, what's our closing percentage? And I think it's really important when you start talking about closing percentages, closing percentage per medium, right? So closing percentage on a referral that you get from a neighbor is going to be much higher than closing percentage on a Google ad, which is going to be much different than the closing percentage on a Facebook ad.
Yes.
So context is super important.
Very.
And you got to track your data in order to be able to distinguish between the 2, 3, 4, or 5 different avenues of marketing that you're doing. Like that's what I would recommend, is trying to figure out the best you can quantitatively. I know people hate that word, but really you want to be able to assign numbers to things and make it a math problem. Anything that you can make a math problem, try to make it a math problem. And then let's try to solve the equation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that helpful?
Sounds stressful.
Yeah, it does, right? It did. It almost did.
Quanta what? No,
I'm sorry.
No, I get it. And I think that's what, I know, and that's, I there's a lot of things I need to, transition and start tracking for the purpose of scaling and duplication. But, that sounds over my head. You know what I mean? Like I need help for that. That's not my strong suit. Yeah, for sure.
No, and by you saying that, that's half the battle.
Absolutely.
If you want to grow and you want to scale, you have to acknowledge the fact that I'm not going to know everything, right? And to be able to humble yourself to reach out for help with just anything in business, right? Like when I had discovered that there was more important things that I should be working on as an entrepreneur, right? Like you could figure it out on your own, but why would you want to waste that much time and energy and effort of designing a website when there's much more priorities as an entrepreneur, a mother, a leader, a coach, whatever, all of these other things that you excel in and that you're good at, right? Like focus your energy on those things and hire a professional to do something and add, some faith, in the scary part. You talked about it's scary. It's not that it's nerve-wracking or frightening or whatever. It's scary. It's scary to move into a different facet of your business that needs work. Right, that you don't know much about. So now you're taking a leap of faith into somebody else's talent. And hope that you chose wisely.
Yes.
Because that's your hard-earned money. Right. You're taking money out of your pocket, off your family's table, and taking a leap of faith into somebody like Mike here, and hoping that it works out, that it pans out, that it will help 10x your business.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's scary.
I can see how that would be unsettling.
Yeah.
Being honest, I really am. Yeah, it's
you're
putting a lot of faith into someone to do something that you're not fully familiar with. Like we do our best to try to create a situation where you don't feel the way I felt when I walked into a mechanic when I was 19.
Yeah.
So you walk into a mechanic, you don't know shit about cars, and he's like, "It's gonna be $2,000."
Right. You're like, what?
And I'm like, "Well, are you sure?"
Yeah.
Like, why is it going to cost $2,000? And then they say a bunch of shit. And I'm like, I can't fact check this. And I don't know. It seems it's way out of my league, but it's like, are you telling me my wheel's going to fall off if I don't do this? Or
Yeah.
is my engine going to blow?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that's a good analogy.
What are the
actually.
stakes, right? And like, that's a
Yeah.
shitty feeling to
That's a good
feel. And, you know, a lot of the internet marketing stuff, it is very dynamic and there's a lot going on, right? And it takes a long time to be able to understand all of it. So we try to give you the best understanding possible, like when we're deciding to do business together. And there's some other great people that do, like Tim Hook Agency sponsors the show. They do a fucking fantastic job as well. They're the only other people that I endorse actively, but
yeah.
You know, but there's more out there.
I learned a lot from, he teaches me a lot too. He's really taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You're exactly right. Because for me personally, like I know people think that when I say like I didn't have a website or I don't do those types of door knocking or whatever, that I'm against it. No, I'm not. I just haven't had to do it. And I've been very fortunate that I've had a lot of volume. I've been successful. So now I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, I'm looking at it and trying to understand it. And yes, and you want to watch people and see who, you know, does what. And, you know, I'll be real honest, I pay attention to people. You know, it's interesting the dynamic that shifts when people genuinely are after my business versus genuinely want to help me, because I wait. You know, I'm a sales, even though I'm in sales, I'm like a salesperson's nightmare because, you know, I know what I want and I watch. And so I'm just wanting to make sure that we're going to, and it's interesting when you don't necessarily bite at that moment, you start to see, I've learned so much about people, really great things, more than negative lately, learning from people, but you have those conversations, you know, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's a good trait to have.
Yeah.
You know, to be patient.
Yeah.
You know, and figure out if that's the person you want to do business with or not. So going back to like your early days and the hustle and grind and stuff, and it feels like you're kind of at a point in your business right now where it's like, you know, you're ready to move on to another area of your business that you want to focus on and concentrate on, because let's face it, and I know as a solopreneur, right? Like I get that. You're graduating into an entrepreneur. And I don't know if you know what the difference is. Like back in the day when it was just me and I was the only person I had to worry about, I was a solopreneur at that point in time. Like I didn't really have other mouths to feed.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you're graduating into that entrepreneurship. And I hope you don't take that in a negative light. But I think we all kind of start out in that area. And it's like, okay, so you were your backup plan.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and still are. And most days us entrepreneurs are our only backup plan. Like everybody's fucking relying on us. Right. But now, like, you can like pass the torch to somebody else. Like, here, make my phone ring, please, because there's other things in this business, in the areas, in the business that I need to work on, that I would like to work on.
Yes.
Right. And that's cool because you're going to start seeing yourself scale. This is a very exciting time, whether you know it or not. And hopefully you are more excited than nervous or scared.
No, I'm very,
because you're going to blow up. I feel like you're you're right at that. You're going to fucking wake up in a month from now and be like, holy shit, how did I get here?
Yeah. I am really, really, really fortunate. Like I've owned other businesses, and the place I'm at now, I can genuinely say then I'm still selfish. I'm not saying I don't have selfish tendencies, but I was selfish then. I have a genuine, like, want my team to win. Like I know their needs, I know their family, and I know what this industry can do financially for people who work hard and you know, deliver excellence. It can change your life very fast. And when there's already like, you know, a vehicle and you just have to kind of get in and like lock arms, it's the coolest thing. And so yes, it's happening and it's intentional and it's awesome because they're winning. You know what I mean? Like
Love
it's
that.
happening and they're producing and they're actually like doing better than me. And it is like, I've never experienced this and it feels really good.
It'll
you know?
keep happening.
Yeah.
It will. It'll keep happening throughout your career. We've had many milestones, and that's what I call that, milestones over the course of my career. And it's like, if you continue on that path, the hardest thing that you're going to have to come up with is, how am I going to top that?
Yeah.
How am I going to top that? How am I going to top that? Right. But through that and that mentality, putting your people first, right, over anything, profit, clients, right? Like sometimes clients just aren't the best fit.
Yeah.
Like, no, the client's not always right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just not a good fit. Like having your teams back.
Great place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you create like a culture that's unstoppable, that's unbreakable, that's unshakable, where like now you're attracting people, right? Like people want to be on that winning team. It's giving me goosebumps right now because it's so exciting to watch other entrepreneurs, other business owners feel that same excitement, because not everybody gets to share in that joy, that victory of watching and helping other people grow. You know, financially, personally, professionally, all of those things, because like we're parents almost, right?
Totally.
Like, and when you can do that, and like what you would do for your kids, why would you do it anything different? Why would you do it any differently for the people that work with you?
Right. That's so true.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think you have to, in order to be a great leader, you have to be a kick-ass parent.
Yeah. Well, hey.
I got a question for both of you. So, Ty, you had mentioned just recently, not too long ago, maybe a minute or two ago, about passing the torch, right? And delegating as you graduate from a solopreneur to an entrepreneur. You're building out your team. But like also in the very beginning of your business, you got to wear a lot of hats where you don't have the luxury of having resources and of having somebody to pass that baton or that torch to, right? So like as you continue to build, maybe you've got one, maybe you've got three, maybe you got 5 team members. How do you stay cognizant of the things that you need to delegate and when is the right time to pass that torch versus getting caught in the trap where you're investing your time in doing things that other people can do, might even be able to do better, and that you could actually have them do while you're spending your time doing things that they couldn't do?
That's a great question.
That is a good question.
I mean, that's a really good question. I can tell you this, I held on too long. But the problem with me is that my threshold for pain is a lot greater than most people's.
Which is not good.
No, right? So I'll do 15 tasks that are actually 12 full-time jobs for years. And I'm screaming, grow, we need to grow, not realizing that I'm the bottleneck. So I think when the pain is great enough, you'll get off your dead ass and do something about it. I can't say 3 years into it, you need to start delegating this over this and get yourself a CFO and a financial controller and accountant and all this other stuff. There's really not a time frame. I think as an individual, you need to know how much pain you're willing to go through. Really, I think it's a thing. Like your mind starts to tell you, is your mind racing? You can't sleep at night. You're doing too many things. You're not spending time with your family. Like at that point in time, but you need to actually go through that because you need to learn your business so you can pass that torch to somebody and at least train them what you've learned on your own. Right. And show them the ropes. Yeah. I think that's up to the individual to figure that out.
I'd imagine that would help holding them accountable too, as they're doing the job that you're hiring them to do or that you're training them to do, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have no idea how to check or to confirm, it should take this long to do this.
Right.
Or, like, how do you build a process if you've never done what it is that you're trying to hire for?
Right? Yes, exactly. Yeah. So you need the experience first, I guess.
What about you, Heather?
Yeah, I think it's a decision first. Like it's a decision. Like again, when I started, I had no vision, so I didn't know it was going to be like a business. So after I realized, oh, this is like a thing, it was a decision of, am I going to run my life into the ground because I'm literally doing everything, or am I going to decide that I'm going to look for people and get systems and processes implemented? And so I made that decision of like, at first it was like, I was making more money than I ever made in my life, just me and one sales guy. And I'm like, why would I? And then it was like, I started to get into this community and see leaders and see companies and realize like, wow. And then I was like, had people come into my life who needed money and they were amazing. And I'm like, well, I have an opportunity I can help you with. So it was a decision. And then, for me, God just brought the right people. I mean, the right people matter for the big stuff, and I just got super fortunate. I feel like, my beliefs are, when you're kind of in the flow of what you're supposed to be doing, things fall into place. The people, you're supposed to meet, you come into their lives for whatever purpose. And that has been my truth for the people that work with Royal Roofing right now. And I'm like super blessed. Like I have rock star. We're all so different, but we have like the same heart. You know what I mean? Like we have the same heart. And it's cool. It's wild. So
it is wild.
Yeah.
I think the roofing industry is in a really cool place right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never seen it where it's at. Obviously it's progressing, it's growing, the technology's ever evolving. And it's just, I think, where roofing used to be many years ago with that stigma of like, Don't trust roofers. They only fuck you over, whatever shit that we used to hear about the roofing industry. I think for a while now it's changed. And I think there's a huge group of us, you and me and even the other people that help facilitate B2B, us to be better contractors. We've never seen, and I don't know if social media has a lot to do with that. It probably does. Things are different now.
Yes.
And now with us being on this, it's like now we're held accountable. Like, so now we need to cash those checks or ash this road.
Yep.
Right. Like we're talking about fucking taking care of our people. Well, we better go home after this and our mouth better match our actions.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Like, so the accountability is greater than it ever has been.
You're right.
And I call it social media assassination. I did it to myself not that long ago. I told everybody I was going to quit smoking cigarettes in 21 days. And I didn't. My eyes twitching right now from it. And I was like, so much stress, so much pressure of it. And it was like, I will never make that
Declaration.
Yes, I will never
again.
nothing like that again, ever. Now, granted, I have cut way back, and it's a process, right? I've quit a lot of things in my life, and that's one thing. It's just, I guess the consequences haven't been great enough yet for me to just be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but it's,
I get that,
good.
man.
But anyhow, roofing space, great people. I mean, we're
Yes.
running into people
I know.
all the time, the Ericos of the world and the Tim Browns and the Michael Stearns. And I mean, the list goes on. Michael Goldstein and those guys over here. What other roofing contractors? Just, there's a lot of cool people in
There
the space
really
right now.
is.
I mean, there's so many of us right now that are trying to do the next right thing and sincerely wanting to watch people grow, sincerely wanting to help homeowners and add value.
Yeah.
Right. Add
Yeah.
that value, long lasting longevity, value, and trying to build something sustainable.
Yeah.
Right. A legacy that we can for generations.
Yeah.
Right. Like
Yeah.
at least for me, like I'm trying to create generational wealth,
Same.
whether it be for the people who work with me or my family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is what I'm trying to do here. I love the roofing industry. And I think I hear too many people talk about like the end game and they're trying to get out and they want to, it's like, dude, I don't ever want to leave the roofing game.
I'm excited. I'm like, we're just getting started, you
Right?
know, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, you can really decide and massively act and completely like change the way your business looks very fast.
Yep.
It's very easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy. That's why when I hear people talk about, I have like, makes me cringe when I hear people complain like, oh, there's been no storm, there's no opportunity. I have a hard time. I do.
Yeah.
Because there's so much opportunity.
Or they can't find good help. They're struggling with finding good help. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Heather.
Uh-oh. What's that?
What is your end game?
I don't
aside
know.
from generational wealth?
Yeah.
Do you see yourself exiting? Do you want to be in the industry for another 20 years?
I can't even like wrap my brain around like seeing myself exit right now. Like I feel like I've found a vehicle that I'm supposed to drive that is like a part of what my bigger plan is, and I feel like I'm gonna just run in two lanes. I feel like I'm just getting started. So I feel like it's not really about me anymore, but like other people need what this industry has to offer. And I know myself personally, I thought like roofers were like,
go ahead,
bootleg.
Yeah. Well, we are.
Well,
no.
Don't pull no
there
punches
are
now.
a lot. Like, I had a stereotype.
Tie earmuffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so when I got into the industry, and I'm like, I'm a roofer, it's just the wildest thing. But I mean, this is a brilliant industry.
It really is.
It's there is opportunity and you can come in with some serious strategies and networking opportunities and your life can change very fast.
Yeah. And what's cool is you can change other people's lives very quickly too.
Very quickly.
Yeah. That's the vehicle that you're speaking of. Like that. There's so many different things and opportunities for us in the roofing industry. And especially now that we can impact ourselves, our families, other people's families and homeowners.
Yeah.
Right. and like you said, like there was that stigma, like we're bootleggers or whatever it is. The
Yeah.
roofing industry is a
Trashy,
bunch of pirates,
crackheads.
right? But it's not true. It's not true. Like we're smart,
There
intelligent
are
business.
some
Yeah,
also.
of course there is, but it doesn't matter
No,
what
I'm
business
joking.
or industry.
Yeah,
Right.
totally. Dude,
Everything. Shit, you go to the supermarket and there's a bunch of
Totally.
dirtbags or whatever.
Fucking
But
scam
I mean,
marketers.
but
Yeah.
for whatever reason, the roofing
Yeah.
industry has gotten a bad rap. But because of events like this and other events like this, you know, I think the education's there too for us to be better entrepreneurs.
I
I think that was some of it too. I just think you didn't need a college degree to bang shingles and then become a roofing business owner. You know what I mean? I think that's, but then, like you said, it's attracting a lot of smarter people nowadays.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And not just us entrepreneurs, but private equity firms, digital marketing firms. I just think this generation of roofers that are coming up through right now, man, we're changing the game.
Yeah,
Like
it's
we're
cool.
we're rewriting the rules right now.
Yeah, it's fun for sure. I'm enjoying being
Me too.
on the ride for sure.
Me too.
I got another question. This one's for both of y'all.
Yes, sir.
I want to hear your favorite roofing story.
Favorite roofing story.
Yeah.
Favorite
In whatever
roofing story.
context you want, it could be with a customer, when you were back installing roofs, up on the roof with one of your colleagues. It could be at the supply house when you made.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I got
whatever.
this one.
Shoot.
So I was also a siding installer, and there was this guy that had worked for me for years. He'd cut the siding. It was just me and him. We were a 2-man band. We'd stack up, 8 boxes of siding, and we wouldn't leave until we installed 16 squares a day. And that was with us just moving the pump jacks and all that stuff. Well, I would throw things at him when he wasn't looking. Right. And it would piss him off. And I'm talking anything between nails and snowballs or whatever. Right. So I'm on the other side of the house and I can see him on the front porch. I can see he was doing something on the front porch. So I'm whipping nails, and we used, 2.5 inch nails. So I'm whipping nails up over the house, and I saw one hit him in the head. And he's looking around, and he, at some point in time, he must have saw who it was. He saw it was me. So this guy sticks his head out the window. He's like, "Yo, motherfucker, you're hitting my truck with nails." And I was like, "Dude, I am so sorry." And I looked through the window and I saw Keith back there laughing his ass off. I never hit his truck, but he set me up with this guy to tell me that I was hitting his truck with nails.
Good.
Yeah. So
All right, that's gonna be a tough act to follow, but let's hear it, Heather.
I actually have two that are really good. I'm gonna pick one. My very first roof as Royal Roofing. I'm super organized. I have my order placed like a week early, which is like unheard of for a roofer, right? Not really, but so get on the scene. The guys tear the roof off. Time's going by. It's like 10:30, 11. There's still no materials. It's my first roof. So I'm like, well, maybe this is just how it goes, and I'm kind of waiting. And finally, they've been waiting for like an hour. And so I call and I'm like, "Oh, hi, my name's Heather. Yeah, I have an order." And anyway, long story short, there's no order placed. There's no order placed. The sales guy that I placed my order with couldn't find the materials and didn't tell me. And because I was nobody and didn't matter and he didn't care. And so so then they can't find the shingle. Homeowner's not home. I had to get a different manufacturer, different line, different color. Roof is torn off. This is my first roof. And I'm like, I am not meant to be. My second roof, this one's quick. My second roof is my personal home. I had a hail claim. I go sit, say this is my window. This is my desk. I go sit in my chair like this. This is where I would typically face. I turn around to look out the window and I'm just sitting there, just took a break. And like 20 seconds later, right in front of me, dude falls off the roof.
Wow.
This is my second roof, y'all. I'm like, Lord Jesus, you need to not be in this industry. You're not cut out for this. Dude falls, and it's like, a 3-foot concrete sidewalk. He happens to go right on that. Turned out completely okay. I mean, I thought he was, totally fine. Didn't even break a bone.
Wow.
Those are my two first transactions for Royal Roofing.
Wow.
Look at me now.
Yeah,
I mean,
look at
the best thing about rock bottom is you can only go up.
I
right?
mean, like what else?
Well, it sounds like you got
Tough
the
go at
worst
it.
things that could possibly happen to you
I was like,
out
at
of the
least
way.
it was my roof. Can you
Yeah.
imagine being at a homeowner's and like dude falls off the roof on the concrete and you're like, I mean, it was very scary.
Jesus.
Mhm.
Yeah. Rush to the ER, all the whole thing.
Yes.
And he was fine.
He was
Nightmare.
totally fine, thank God.
Jesus.
Yes. No
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Well, Mike, I wish I had like a question for you right now. Do you have any
Oh,
good
it's all
questions
good. We
for
can wrap
him?
this up. I'm sure y'all
Are you
getting
sure?
hungry.
Are you sure? Okay. Well, this is great. This was a great icebreaker for the Storm Restoration Contractor Summit 2023 April Halls event every
Yes.
year. Like this is good, and I can't wait. Tomorrow you will probably see us running around like idiots with portable cameras, interviewing most people. We will have everything streaming live from our booth, but not here at our booth. We'll be running around. Oh, and this is something else I want to plug too. So we have a special behind the ToolBelt Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which will actually be 6 o'clock p.m. here. We will have Chris Hofstra and Nick from Roofer. It's going to be a special topic. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but make sure everybody tunes in at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wednesday night, we'll be coming live from
Right on.
the Storm Restoration Contractor Summit.
Cool.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nope, look forward to it, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you,
Yeah.
brother. Always
Thanks for
a pleasure.
joining
Guys,
us.
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's good to see y'all.
Yes. That's it. You did a great job.